Hello, and welcome to our latest i2 tips and tricks video for accompanying issue number 17 of our Shortest Path training newsletter. As usual, there are a couple of tips and tricks that we'd like to show you today. The first one will be here in Analyst notebook, which I've got open in front of me, and the other will be in iBase. The Analyst notebook tip that we'd like to share with you for this issue is about using your own images as pictures for icons in entities. First of all, we need to get to Edit Item Properties. There's a couple of ways of doing this in Analyst Notebook. You can go up to File and then to Chart Properties, and that will open it up for you. You can also just right mouse click on the background of a chart and choose Edit Chart Properties. This will take us into some settings that govern everything to do with the chart you've currently got open. If we go into Definitions and then Entity Types, it lists all of the entity types available on this template, the standard template. If we choose New, we could create a new entity type. I'm going to call this new entity type Calling Circle. They've got a specific arrangement of phones, perhaps, that I want to create as an entity type. I can choose how this new entity type looks by clicking on Select Icon. Now on your machine it might take a few seconds to open. There are quite a few images in here that it's trying to bring out all at once. This gives us a list of all the different existing icon entity pictures. If I wanted to add my own, we could go here. This will open a File Explorer window, and any images that you wanted to use for your own entities, all you would need to do is drag and drop them or copy paste them into here. I've actually created and added one of my own called Calling Circle. I've named it that just to make it a bit easier to find. If I now close this File Explorer window, we can go back and have a look in our list of images. It's a good idea to click refresh when you've added your new picture or pictures. Only then will they appear in the list. If I have a search for my image, I'll just type the word calling. We can see it highlights it here, Calling Circle. When I click OK, it will add that image to the new entity type that I'm creating. Just like making a normal new entity type, I could say that I want to see it in some particular palettes, maybe the common palette, and maybe also telecoms. And then I'll click OK. At the bottom of our list of entity types, we can see the new one we've made, Calling Circle. Now it won't actually create this until we hit OK again. Once we do that, it'll appear over here in the palettes that I've asked it to place it within. If I just add a new one of these Calling Circle entities, we can see it there. Whenever creating a new image to use on an entity like this, it's always best to either have permission to use that image, or you can purchase them online, or even create them yourself. This particular image here, I actually drew in Analyst Notebook using some other entities and some links to get the look that I wanted. And then using Microsoft Paint, I just saved it as a simple JPEG image. It's also worth noting that this particular entity type we've created will only exist on this chart. If I want to use it in future, maybe in other charts or share it with colleagues, then I'd need to add it to a template. And instructions on how you can add things to templates are another one of our videos, which is for newsletter number 13. The second tip that we'd like to share with you today is in iBase. If I just go down here, I've got our iBase training database open. We'd like to show you a specific function called export data to Excel. You can find it over here in the Explorer, and if I just right mouse click on that and tell it to open up, we can have a look at the dialog. So exporting data to Excel can obviously be incredibly useful if you want to use that data elsewhere, maybe to import into another database, or perhaps just to analyze in Excel on its own. The interface for export to Excel is quite straightforward. Top left-hand corner, the first thing we have to do is choose the entity or the link type that we want to use to export. In our database, we've got a person record entity, so I'm just going to choose that. And then we have three options for a source for our data. We could choose to export all records of that type, but obviously if you have thousands or tens of thousands of person entity types in your database, in this example, then that would be quite a large amount of data, so perhaps we don't want to do that. We could also choose a query, and in this case the tool would run that query, then grab the data for us and put it into Excel. Or we could use a set of data, something that we've perhaps created or curated ourselves. In the cases of both the query and the set, it will only list options that contain the entity or link type that you have chosen. I'm going to choose this one that we've made earlier. We've got SPT people operation phantom. Below this, we can then choose which fields we want to have as part of the export. We could choose nothing and then select perhaps a few that we were interested in. Or we could choose everything and just export all of the data together. If we had numeric fields in this list, we could also apply some totaling functions over here. And they will allow us to give things like averages or to sum up the amounts of certain fields. Once you've chosen the field you'd like, all you need to do is hit export. Once it's done, it'll tell you, and it will then open that information up in an Excel spreadsheet. We can see that here. At the top left here, the export will always tell you what entity or link type you had chosen. It'll also give you the name of the source. So here we can see the name of the set. It'll give you the date that the report was created as well. And then we have all of our different fields here in different columns. As always, we really hope that you've enjoyed the tips and tricks that we've shared with you during this session. If you'd like to see more tips and tricks, there are quite a few other videos on our YouTube account, most of them to do with other issues of our newsletter and tips and tricks similar to this video. If you'd like more information about anything we do, including the training courses that we run, then please do email us. That's at info@shortestpathtraining.co.uk. The newsletters to accompany these tips and tricks are also available on our website. And we also release tips and tricks on LinkedIn. So if you'd like to, feel free to come and find us on LinkedIn and get some more free tips and tricks information from there. Otherwise, for now, thanks very much for your time and goodbye.